Hi, Paul Wiggins here. What we're going to show you in this tutorial is creating charts entering an anchorage. So I'm going to show you an overview, and we'll show you how to set up the directories to store the information, how to create the HLGs, the files created by SAS Planet that describe the chart, how to create the charts using separate chart, using these HLGs, and how to display the charts on OpenCPM. Okay, let's look at an overview of what we're trying to do here. I'm going to go to SAS Planet here. This is a map of Tuba. And right in here, there's a we call it Varadero. Let's zoom into it. All I do is create charts for this Marina. It said we're going to create 3 times the charts. And they're going to look like this. First off, all around the Marina here, including the bay around it, we're going to create a chart that is going to be at the zoom level 17, so it has a lot of detail. Above that, we're going to create a shoreline chart here, and this is going to be at zoom level 15. And above that, we're going to create an overall chart, and it's going to be at zoom level 10, 11, and 12. So that's the overview. The next thing I'd like to explain about is how to set up the directories to store the information. If I go to my directory where I store my stuff, I have a directory called Set to Charts. So anything that I create as a chart goes in here. I have one for every country. I have also entries for entering certain places, like say this one from Marina Hemingway. It has 3 subdirectories, one for holding the HLGs produced by SAS Planet. It also has 2 of them for each of the maps that were produced for this. So if I want to create an entry for Varadero, I would come back here, create a new folder, call it Varadero, and then I would go into that directory and create some subdirectories. The first one would be the one for the HLGs. And then I will create directories for the charts. And I'm going to put all the charts into one directory. So I'm just going to create a directory called charts. And that's all there is to setting up the directory for Varadero. The next thing I want to show you is how to create the HLG that will eventually be used to create the charts. So we have to create an HLG for the detail, the coastline, and the overall HLG. So if I go back to SAS Planet here, here's Varadero. And as I said, we want to create a chart around here that's going to be at zoom level 17. So we have to create the HLG for it first. So we go to Operations, Selection Manager, Polygon Selection, and we'll just go completely around here, including the leaf. So that should do it. We'll come back to this point. Get back to the start here. Okay, so now we have that HLG defined. We have to finish it. So we come to here to this little window, press the Apply button. It brings up the Selection Manager. We first create a polygon for it. And I'm going to put all the polygons into one category. It's called Varadero. and I click OK. Now we have to save the HLG. Click the little diskette button down at the bottom of the selection mode there. It brings up the Save As. And we have to set the directory here properly, so we have to go back up and go down to our Varadero and select HLGs. And now we would put in the name of the HLG, which would be detail. And we can get rid of a selection ad. After that, we want to create a coastline chart going along here. So again, we will use a polygon. Go to Selection Manager, Polygon Selection, and we'll just come along the coast here. And I want to go around the detail polygon. And we come up to about here. And then we want to go out into the sea here. So we go out amount that you think is necessary to get into the marina. So I'm going to go out to about here. Straighten that up. Putting that up. So there's our shoreline or coastline HLG. So again, finalize it. Create a polygon for it. And store the HLD. And call it coastline. And finally, we want to create the overall HLG. So we'll go to Operations again, Selection Manager, Polygon Selection, and we want to go around to this whole thing. Right out to there. And up to about there. That looks pretty good. Need to adjust this a little bit. Let's drive it down here a little bit. Okay, there's our HLG for the overall chart that we will be making. Click the Finalize the Apply button here. Go to the Selection Manager. Make a polygon for it. And then store the and we'll call it overall. Cancel the lecture manager. And there they are, 3 HLGs that we're going to use to create the charts eventually. So that's all there is to this. The next thing we want to do is create the charts from those HLGs that we just created. And we're going to use SATA chart to do that. So I go to SATA chart here. And the first thing we want to do is make sure the SAS Planet options are okay. Go in there. We're going to invoke SAS Planet download. I'm not going to use any scripts, but you could if you wanted to. We're going to use the multi-map support. We're going to bypass confirming chart selection. And we have 8 SAS planets to deal with. To go back to the main tab, we're going to create charts from SAS Planet. They're going to be MB tiles. And the depth here is going to be same as the marine chart that we're using, which is navionics. So we set meters. The next thing I do is correct this here where we're going to score the charts. It's not in the right place. We click this button here. And we go back up, find our Varadero directory. And go to charts. And just save that. So now we're going to create all the charts in that directory. Then we'll go to here to the Polygon HLGs. And we click this button here. And we go back up to find our Varadero directory. And we select the HLGs directory. And there's all of the 3 HLGs that we just created. We select them all. We click Finished. And then what's going to happen is SATA chart is going to take off. And the first thing it's going to ask you is what zoom levels and what maps you want to use. So we're going to be using two maps. The first one is the Navionics. The second one is the satellite Google Maps. And we only have to set this once. So now we're going to look what is asking us for the zoom levels for the coastline. The coastline is going to be zoom level 15. We uncheck the repeat button, press OK. Now it asked us for the detail. That's going to be zoom level 17. Again, we don't have to set the maps, they're already set. And press OK. Now for the overall chart, we want to be at zoom levels 10, 11, and 12. And request OK. By the way, when you select the satellite map here, you might want to go back to SAS Planet and check the maps to make sure you got a good map. Make sure this is the satellite map you want to read. You could select some other ones if you wanted to. Okay, then we press OK. And now SAS says it's going to take off. And it's going to bring up one SAS Planet copy for every HLG map combinations. So we had 2 maps and we had 3 HLGs, so it's going to bring up 6 copies of SAS Planet. I'm just going to stop the video for a minute while it does that. Okay, you notice what we've done here. SatChart has brought up 6 copies of SAS Planet all here and resized them. It resized itself and brought up a small window to the progress of all 6 SAS plates. And right now they're all downloading. And you notice there's for each of the HLGs, there's Navionics and there's satellite maps. I'll sort of stop the video again until it's okay. It finished creating 6 charts. Put them all in here from the Varadero charts directory. Let's look at that directory to go to our Varadero directory here. Here are the charts. And you notice we've created 6 charts. And for each of the HLGs, we got one for Navionics and we got one to satellite Google Maps. That's all there is to creating the charts. Okay, the final thing we want to do is display those charts on OpenCPN. So go to OpenCPN here. Here is Matacuba. Right about here is Varadero. So we go to the options here. Charts. And you notice I put in Varadero charts directory in here so that OpenCPN can use those charts. And we're going to do a full scan. And not a full scan, just a scan. And finished. And now we'll go to look at all the active charts. There they are. So here's Varadero. So we've got our or should I read that thing again? Here's the detailed chart for Varadero. We resume right in there to find that we have. This is the Google Map one. This is the Google Map chart. So there's our Marina. Nope, button when the connection is. It's the map. Okay, back here, the detailed Navionics chart will look like this. So there's lots of detail here. And here's a look at the charts. The overall chart. This is the Navionics overall. And you notice it extends way out into the ocean here because we had zoom level 10 to 12. Then there's the there's the overall chart with the satellite. Okay, that's all for looking at them on OpenCPN. Okay, I think I showed you everything, setting up the directories, creating the HLGs, creating the chart, choosing set to chart, when you display them on OpenCPN. Thank you for watching.